Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Anthony. Jared, do you want to come up and join me to deliver all the takeaways from district conference? Do you have our platinum award up here? I'm going to lay this on the table by the baskets if you'd like to come up and see it. But I thought this was cool. So if you haven't been to district conference, then essentially it's a gathering and several different meetings and plenary sessions, but a lot of high-level information. Really this year, I think a lot of the takeaways that I have are sharing ideas that we have heard about as far as fundraisers or involvement in community activities that other clubs have. And then there are, kind of a row set up, and I forget exactly what they call it, like science project boards, tri boards, of different activities clubs have done, and some things like that. So there were some neat ideas and some takeaways from that. I think one of the things that I thought was neat was, one of the focus points. Obviously, they talk about carts a lot, and I still want us to be cognizant of the blue carts there, blue buckets there, and putting their change in for it. But was having little pieces of, just something simple and small, but just having little pieces of candy almost of those mints or something like that, especially if we're eating. We've got peppers and onions and sausage one day. It's not a bad idea to put some money in the cart fund and have a mint to take away. But then there were a lot of higher level things, such as the pigeon race, which I think we've talked about before. And so various clubs got up and gave their take on those. We had some good speakers discuss just kind of some mental toughness and overcoming obstacles and some leadership things as well. So, Jared, I'll let you talk about some of your takeaways that you had coming in as president for next year.
Sure. Well, first of all, side note, I apologize to everyone about the Zoom with the Derby. I was supposed to get Zoom going and invocation and all that. Well, we had some other things happen right at 5:15, 5:30. I was trying to keep my 16-month-old from eating rocks out of the fireplace and taking everything off the bedding table. And Holly had to run and get the kids from a party because there was a storm, so I was having to greet everybody coming in. So, I'm sorry, I didn't get Zoom going. Kim was probably ready to kill me. So my apologies. And then I figured sure. I looked at my phone later and had like 6 missed calls from you. Oh my God. But anyway, I'm sorry. We had a good time at our house. I hope you guys did too. Back to the district conference. My third district conference, the first one was in Greenville, which I believe Deb was president that year. And then I went to one that was virtual, totally different, obviously. I think last year was Asheville, right? I did not go to that one, but so this was my third one. It's always interesting to see what everybody's doing, as David's already mentioned. And I think, obviously, district conference is primarily to be a celebration of what the clubs in the district have accomplished that year. And then the capstone with all that is that the district awards that, for those of you who've never been to that, it really is rewarding and you feel really good when our club is in the top tier, very top tier, of achieving the awards that, all the points that Kim does and everybody else. It's just, there's only a select few in the district that get that. So that's really good. And I hope that we can continue that. But I think what's more important to me is the impact that those clubs are having, even if they don't achieve that top tier. And to see what Rotarians in our district are doing to make a difference in their local communities, clubs bigger than us, clubs much smaller than us, still having tremendous impact, the things that matter and are desperately needed. Some of us have the same challenges across communities, and some of us have very different ones. But it's really good to see what everybody's doing in our district to help everybody else. Whether they're getting the points or not, they're still having an impact. And that's, it's just really rewarding. It kind of gives us some good gas to keep going and doing what we're doing. So I hope you guys feel good about that, even though you may not have been there in person with David and I. It felt really good to be representing this club. So let's keep doing what we've been doing the last 100 years and keep having an impact in our community. And we can share those things at conference.
There were 10, I think 10 clubs that had that received platinum status, and then Triple Crown. There were not many. 6 or 7, I think, was all that got Triple Crown. So, so those were the two that were handed out, and those are huge accomplishments. And it was funny, you know, there were several clubs that were much smaller than us that had several members there. There were plenty of clubs larger than us that had 1, maybe 2 members there. But I think what was neat is that everybody we spoke to that looked at name badges said, it's Thomasville. And so I don't know if it's just a force to be reckoned with, or really what the way people look at our club, but you can tell that there's a sense of accomplishment when you speak to other individuals and they know that you're from the Thomasville Club. So it definitely was an honor to represent the club, by far. So we appreciate you allowing Jerry and I to go, and certainly other than Melissa getting sick and breaking the phone and spending every time sick as could be. It was good. So,
David, Mike
yes.
picked up our banner,
Okay.
then he forgot to bring it to
I
me.
forgot.
Kentucky Derby Party, but he will get it to me and I'll get it to you.
Okay, yeah, Mike was wonderful. But that's our update on district conference. So relatively, I think, uneventful, and probably one of the things where I think year after year is probably certainly different from the last. So, but that was our day. So we appreciate the opportunity to share. I do have a couple of final announcements. Number one, do have the plaque up there. If you'd like to come and see that, definitely a lot of work went into that, and obviously Kim has a ton to do with that. Mary Jane has tickets to the Rita Moreno concert at I guess it's a singer at the Tanger Center next Tuesday at 7:30. She cannot go, so she is just giving those to whoever is able to use them. So if you would like those, I'm going to put those up here by the plaque as well. First come, first serve. So, any other announcements? Tom?
Just a reminder, sponsors, please see me right over here after the meeting to just allow me to. Thank you.
Anything else? Go to the order. It's great to see everybody today. 100th anniversary picture in the books. Chris and Susan, we appreciate you all working on that. If there's individuals that you normally sit with or that used to sit with that we haven't seen in a while, make an effort, if you will, just to reach out to them and touch base, check in on them, see how they're doing health-wise, socially, if their spouse is okay. Just let's keep a check-in on each other. But if you will, at this time, stand and join me in the podium. Almost halfway through the month of May now, and coming up on almost halfway through the entire calendar year. So just as we go out, as we get into summer, as we're sitting around pools and enjoying ourselves, remember there's people that are nowhere near as fortunate as anybody in this room. And so as we come across those individuals, or even people that we may look up to ourselves, and we interact with them, let's ask ourselves these questions. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?